I forgot to cover this in one of the other videos I did about this fight, so I'm going to touch on it here briefly and just get it out of the way. But that is the fact that the notorious Mayweather fanboy, Stephen A. Smith, actually came out and said that he thought Kovalev got robbed and Andre Ward got a gift decision. And a lot of people are using this as ammunition to bolster their claim, bolster their argument that Sergey Kovalev actually was robbed. Because of the fact that Stephen A. Smith is a Mayweather fanboy, a lot of these people automatically assume that he must also be an Andre Ward fanboy. And therefore, if Kovalev wasn't robbed, why would an Andre Ward fanboy be saying that he was robbed? This is the argument people are trying to come across with. Well, up until Stephen A. Smith did the commentary for Pacquiao Vargas, I don't think I'd ever mentioned Stephen A. Smith on my channel before. And I've been aware of this guy for many years. I've been aware of his silly back and forth debates with another clueless individual, Skip Bayless, during the whole Mayweather-Pacquiao era. I was aware of all that. I was aware that this guy is a personality, okay, in the media and whatnot in the United States when it comes to sports. But I'd paid no attention to him and didn't cover him on my channel. Why? Because the guy's absolutely clueless about boxing. He has no idea what he's looking at. The first time I mentioned him on my channel, to my knowledge at least, to my memory, was the other weekend when Pacquiao fought Vargas. Stephen A. Smith, on his scorecard, he had Vargas up by several rounds by the halfway stage. Several rounds he had Vargas up by. I mean, his co-commentators were looking at him like, you know, where's the crack pipe? What are you smoking? And it's not until they started chastising him a little bit that he came down from his crack high and started scoring the fight more in line with what was actually going on in the ring. They were looking at him like, how can you be scoring a fight like this? This is insane. And I said in my post-fight video at the time, this guy knows nothing about boxing. Yeah, or worse to that effect, I certainly said that his commentary was terrible. The only good thing I thought was his post-fight interview of Pacquiao. But in terms of him watching the fight, yeah, come on, man. How can you have Vargas several rounds up at the halfway stage? What fight were you watching? So I've never taken this guy seriously because he don't know anything about boxing. He didn't know what he was looking at in the Pacquiao Vargas fight, and he certainly didn't know what he was looking at in the Ward Kovalev fight. So I'm very consistent with Stephen A. Smith, but other people seemingly are not very consistent. They've been bashing Stephen A. Smith and saying he knows nothing about boxing for all these years because of the fact that he's a Mayweather fanboy. But now all of a sudden that he said something that they agree with, now they're holding him up as some type of guru. Ridiculous. The guy either knows nothing about boxing or he knows something about boxing. It can't be both. Yeah? Make your mind up. I've been consistent on Stephen A. Smith. Go watch my post-fight video following the Pacquiao Vargas fight. What was I saying about Stephen A. Smith? I said he was terrible. This guy don't know nothing about boxing. And I'm being consistent and saying the same thing now when he's coming out with his views about Ward Kovalev. Totally irrelevant what Stephen A. Smith thinks in my mind because he don't know anything about the sport. That should be blatantly obvious to anybody who listens to this guy talk about boxing. The same goes for Skip Bayless and all those other guys there. Them guys need to stick to the sports that they understand. You know, they don't know nothing about boxing, man. So that's all I got to say, really. Those are my views on Stephen A. Smith and his opinions on Kovalev Ward. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.